In the first grade, our teacher in Liberty, Texas said, draw Santa Claus to the whole class. So I took some creative licenses and I drew Santa, but I put in the tree and the gifts and a cute little elf peeking around the other tree. And after all this, they put these things on the wall and everyone said, hey, that gay Warren kid can draw. So that was a pretty good start in the first grade to find out that maybe I can draw. So things went on in Little Liberty, Texas. I took painting classes, I took art classes, and I won some awards, and I even did this oil painting. Can you believe it's almost a rip-off? But anyway, it was obligatory bluebonnets. Went off to the University of Texas, dusted off the Liberty shoes, and off I go to major in art at the University of Texas. And not just art, but a Bachelor of Fine Arts in studio art. And that's a tough one. It's 9 hours of work in the studio for 3 hours of credit. So you start off by drawing anatomy, almost like the Renaissance days, where you have to, draw these things before they even let you loose with the naked models. You got to draw the insides first. And so I did that. I learned how to draw everything. And at the end of it, I ended up graduating with high honors, and I was able to draw. And all the professor says, hey, she can draw. So what do you do as an art major if you can draw? Well, back then, you went in the ad business. I couldn't make a living as an artist, so I could draw, and I would draw comps. We did all this by hand. And I worked at the Richards Group, and was the second female ever hired there in the creative department way back in the day. But we used our hand skills to draw, so that's how I got in the ad business. Well, you heard a little bit about me. I ended up growing T3 to the largest woman-owned advertising agency in the country, and right here from Austin, Texas. And I, was a regular on Bloomberg. I was an expert talking about business and doing all these things. And, it all started out, though, because somewhere I could draw. And a few years ago, I thought, I wonder if I've lost my hand skills. So I drew my dog, Henry, because years of, being a mom and raising kids and running a company and volunteering, I just didn't do my art at all for years. So I did the little drawing of Henry, and it gave me confidence that, you know what? Maybe I should go back and do a little art. So I went out to the open fields at our ranch, and I started looking up at the sky, and I saw beautiful, beautiful sunsets and skyscapes and landscapes. And I started painting outside, plein air painter. And it was literally sometimes scorching, hot. I put on my rattlesnake boots. I mean, it was dangerous, but I was out there painting every time I could. So you can see here I am in the middle of the field, but just painting my heart out. And I loved every minute of it. It was hard work, though. I really was. I went back and took it in earnest that I wanted to make something out of it. Just somebody who could draw wasn't enough for me. So I kept at it and I kept at it. And then one day I had this amazing opportunity, and I'm standing in this photograph in a gallery in Chelsea in New York. I had a one-woman show in 2016. I was back in business as an artist, and from that moment on, my work started selling like hotcakes. I don't know why, it just happened. It was like people seemed to like it, and it was so gratifying, so I worked harder and harder. Texas Monthly named me one of the top 10 artists to collect, and so it was a really exciting moment to realize that, gosh, can I make a living at all out of being an artist? Is it real? And so I got more and more involved in it and met more people and met more artists, and the collectors did come. And I had people starting to collect my work from London. Here's Brene Brown. She bought one of my paintings in the Houston one-woman show I had there at a gallery. And so I've had people collect from all over the world, and I still paint every minute that I can. My work evolves, and I love doing what I do, but it all goes back that I could draw when I was a kid. I was okay. So these are clouds that I painted recently. This is the largest, one of my larger paintings. It's 5 feet by 4 feet, almost as big as me. It sold for quite a lot of money. I won't tell you how much, but you can look on my website and you can tell these things. But anyway, it all goes back. I learned how to paint clouds when I was a kid, and maybe that's all part of coming back to who I am today, something I did. So we built this beautiful studio, come see us at our ranch, and a gallery at Fossil Ridge. We call it Fossil Ridge Creative Center at our Double Heart Ranch in the Texas Hill Country. And that's where I work, I show my work, and it's so exciting to be able to really practice a craft that I never thought I could make a dime on. In fact, my husband said, you're never gonna make a dime selling your art, but have a good time. And when I got my first check at the gallery for $17,485.93, I called him and I said, I think this is more than a thin dime, don't you? That's good. So anyway, showing my work, doing all that is really what what I love to do because I could draw. And when you see your work in someone's home or in an office building or out there, and you know that maybe you brought a little joy or a little happiness from your creativity, from your heart, from your spirit, from your soul, it really means a whole lot to me now. So I love this photograph. It's a home in Dallas. I just had a show open in Santa Fe at the World Gallery. I was out there, and so the beat goes on. And I've learned that women are underrepresented in galleries, and women don't make as much money as fine artists as men do. So I'm out to kind of prove the thing like I did at T3 that, yeah, a woman can do this. And so it's my passion now. And here I am in my beautiful studio, and just, you know, I have the joy of being able to paint in such a place that I'm surrounded with the big outdoors. You can see the huge skies out there, and I can drag my easel out onto the deck and paint from life what I see. And that's what it's really all about, from what I see from the ranch. But there are no eureka moments, and this is where it comes back to you. We don't just discover something overnight. Innovation doesn't happen like that. It all happens from something called, what I say, the adjacent possible, if you've heard of it. It's just like, no one just created a printing press one day. It came from the wine press. All these things that we do in our life, we were probably good at as a child. Go back as you think of, what are your superpowers? What are you really good at? What turns you on? What did someone as a child say, hey, Jack, you're really good at that? And you pursue those things. And if you really work hard, and you really work hard at it, every one of us can understand the true superpowers that we have. So go kick ass and be the superhero you were always meant to be. Thank you.